Every day, the transportation industry in DC provides necessary services for commuters, citizens, and tourists. People funnel in and out of Union Station, deciding whether to take a bike, Segway, tour bus, metro, or taxi. It is only logical to assume that the decisions made by each consumer ultimately determines which service is the most successful. Unfortunately, the majority of the transportation services are under mountains of regulation that eventually lower the quality of product and raise the price of the service. However, a new on-demand car service, Uber Taxi, has recently made headlines news with its growing success from DC consumers. Uber's success is driven by technological innovation and efficiency, two new concepts that are challenging the industry. A challenge which has gained a lot of resistance from industry leaders, including DC Councilmember Marion Barry.
And so what this company is doing is having a great dent on DC taxi drivers.
Within recent years, more and more DC residents have complained about the quality and price of DC's taxis, an industry that has been regulated by the Taxi Commission for decades. DC consumers were demanding a quality transportation service at a reasonable price. In our future market system, when the consumer demands, the market responds. Travis Kalanick, CEO of Uber, responded providing a convenient, clean, and professional transportation service.
Well, our motto says a lot of that. We're everyone's private driver. And what that means is an on-demand town car service. You get out your iPhone or your Android device, you push a button, and in 5 minutes a town car appears. We like to say it's efficiency with elegance on top, right? Just pure efficiency doesn't capture people's imaginations, but you put elegance on top of efficiency, and I think that's how you reach people's hearts. And that's why this has taken off so much in so many cities, but especially here in DC.
With a tap of a button, your location is determined and an estimated time arrival is calculated. Uber dispatches a luxurious sedan or SUV to your location.
Here's a company unregulated, Mr. Evans. I don't understand how you could do this. How you could have a company unregulated. I'm a friend of the taxi industry. Have always been. They've been a political friend of mine. And these drivers were outraged.
You know, when new technology comes into an industry that has pretty much been the same for 50 or 60 years, you're going to come up against resistance, usually from incumbents that are in that industry. In this case, it's the transportation industry generally.
In his book, Free to Choose, Milton Friedman criticizes government price control and regulations that restrict competitors from entering the market. The rises in fixed prices for taxis have a negative effect on the consumer. Instead, prices should be determined by the private company, leaving their success or failure up to the consumer. The free market benefits all, allowing salaries to be raised by the firms competing with one another for the best workers. By workers competing with one another for the best jobs, those higher wages are at nobody's expense. They only result from higher productivity and greater capital.
The fact that people are willing to pay more for Uber demonstrates something. When you call Uber on your phone, they are there within minutes. You rate them, and they rate you. You actually rate the driver. Was the car clean? Was it air-conditioned? Was there a proper accommodation made for you? Imagine that, the last time you stepped into a district taxi. But the fact of the matter is there's incomparability when you talk about the service that you get with Uber and the service you get with a garden variety taxi.
The argument that government regulation equals quality is simply not true. However, as Councilmember Evans put it, good regulation, consistent and fairly administered, and does not squash a competitor, is good. Over 50,000 letters of support for Uber were received last week by the DC City Council. The mission of the DC Taxicab Commission is to provide the citizens of the District of Columbia and its visitors a safe, comfortable, efficient, and affordable taxicab experience. At the same time, the Commission strives to provide taxicab owners with rules and regulations that allow for technological advancements to be introduced to the industry and for properly qualified individuals to participate in the industry.
Well, that's an interesting question. I would first say that the regulations, as far as we're concerned, do follow that mission. We aren't regulated by the Commission right now, and there's no statute that they have or regulation that shows that we're doing anything wrong.
Uber Taxi simply does that. It is a qualified company that provides a safe, comfortable, efficient, and affordable experience. Uber's general manager, Rachel Holt, said that there is a place for regulation when it protects the consumers, but not when regulation creates price wars. Despite actions to regulate Uber, Uber is now innovatively leading the transportation market in DC, as well as in over 7 other major cities. Let your money speak. You buy a product because you value its quality of service. I'm Alex Anderson with the Young Leaders Program. Thank you for watching.